Hello, everyone. It's Monday, March 10th. Welcome to Quoth the Raven. Louis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Louis Bright Raven, 33-year veteran creator, editor, publisher, talent scout, pop culture journalist. It is Monday manga night. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been kind of a crazy week and already started for me, but we'll get into it. Our book tonight, if my screen will show what it's supposed to show, there we go, is Kitaro, the classic manga series by Shigeru Mizuki. This is the classic manga collection graphic novel from $29.99 from Drawn and Quarterly. Creator Shigeru Mizuki, translation by Jocelyn Allen. Not sure who did the lettering. Introduction and additional materials by Zach Davison, who does the majority of the Kitaro translations for Drawn and Quarterly or Fantagraphics. I don't know which one who's doing them, but he did most of them, but he didn't do this one. The genre is supernatural heroic fiction comedy, released in 2013 and re-released in 2023. I got the 2023 edition. It's rated for 13 and up, I think. Some people say a little bit older, but I go with 13. What it's about: Kitaro, the last survivor of the ghost tribe, and his adventures with other ghouls and strange creatures of Japanese mythology, along with the remains of his father, Adaba Oi, a mummified ghost tribesman reincarnated to inhabit his old eyeball. Nazumi Otoko, the rat man, Neko Masume, the cat girl, and a host of other folkloric creatures. Kitaro strives to unite the world of humans and yokai, and yokai in Japanese folklore are a class of spirit monsters that the majority of the monster characters in this series belong to. This collection presents 13 selected stories from the classic series that Mizuki produced between 1960 and 1969. Most of them between the stories that are featured are between 64 and 65. Again, they produced earlier editions translated by Davison. This was the edition I happened to discover first. Again, this is like stories were mostly August 65 to September 66. I was thinking 64 to 65, but it was 65 to 66. So these are stories that are more a set of a standalone stories that were in the later half of the series rather than continuity-driven stories, if you will. I'm only going to talk about one specific story. I'm not going to go through all 13 stories. We're going to talk about The Hand, which is in which a vampire named Lasine lures Kitaro into a deserted shrine for a meeting and has his assistant Mammoth machine gun Kitaro into nothing. All that remains is the hand Kitaro used to shake hands with Lasine. Lasine then throws the hand to the ground and stomps on it like a bug. After he and Mammoth head back to their hotel, the hand comes back alive and begins to follow them, kind of like Thing from the Addams Family. Once they arrive back at the hotel, the hand begins causing mischief, knocking books off of shelves onto Lasine, turning out the lights and covering Lasine's mouth. Mammoth calls a bellhop to check the room, but nothing suspicious is found. Lasine lights a cigarette to calm down, but Mammoth sees the hand hanging from his sleeve. Lasine shakes the hand off, flinging it into the bathtub. Then they have Mammoth nail the hand to the board and lock it in the dress drawer. But the next morning, the hand is gone. Lacine asks the bellhop if he let it free, and the bellhop admits only to finding a note requesting that he open the drawer. Mammoth theorizes that Kitaro's hand must have written a note, but Lacine has had enough, and they decide to move to another hotel. At the other hotel, they receive a knock at the door and a letter written in the same handwriting as the note the bellhop found. Once Mammoth sees this, he sees slugs all over the windows, staring straight at them, but Lacine brushes it off and suggests they play a game. Later, the hand appears on the window holding a knife. Kind of creepy stuff. But again, Lacine dismisses it, figuring they are safe as long as the doors and windows are locked. Mammoth then hears the hand crawling down the chimney. So Lacine orders Mammoth to start a fire, but the fire grows out of control and spreads all over the room. And when Lacine tries to unlock the door, it won't open because the hand is on the other side, holding it tight onto the knob, and they burn alive. And the next day, the newspaper reports 2 bodies found in a fire in a mountain hotel, and Kitaro relaxes in a field with his insect friends, waiting for his hand to come crawling back to him. And this is just the first tale of the series, and the others are just as interesting. But again, I didn't have time to go down and break down all 13 stories for the audience tonight. I apologize for that. But that's the kind of storytelling you get in this book. What did I think of the series? When I bought this back in 2023, I had no prior info on the series. I probably would have hunted down the Davison volumes first had I known this was just a collection of individual standalone stories instead of something in continuity. I would have looked for a volume 1 starting point. But with that having been said, the stories were all extremely well done, and I didn't need a glossary, though there is one provided in the book, to know who and what the monsters were, or what the different cultural aspects of what Mizuki was presenting in the series are. Just a second. I think you might have heard him. He's here. The monster is here. Speaking of monsters, he's hiding against the black shirt. And he's blocking my shirt symbol, which is his actual attitude towards everybody. But, you know, here he is, the mascot of the show, Midnight, wanting attention. Yep. Oh. Yeah. Hello, baby. Hello. Yeah. Okay. We gotta go back to reading this. We're doing here, okay? All right. Where was I? Yeah, it was a slow read for me, mostly because I was examining the different styles and artistic techniques that Mizuki blends into work. While the character cast is largely cartoony and expressive, like what you see on the cover here, Mizuki juxtaposes this against a variety of stylistic backgrounds ranging from mythical and macabre to photorealistic with illicit details to a very exquisite effect, which allows him to capture the reader and draw their eye and focal attention into his worlds. We don't often see this kind of craftsmanship in modern manga or American comics, and this is part of why I picked this to review over the more popular modern era manga content. Okay. Why is it not moving forward? It's not. Okay. Anyway, somehow number 7 got missed, I think. Let me see if I can find it. I hate when something is missing. Okay. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick for you guys while I talk about this. Down. What? For some reason, there's 2. There we go. No, it was okay. We got it fixed. Perhaps just as importantly, however, is just how influential the series was in Japanese manga and anime and folklore culture in the country of Japan post World War II, because Mizuki effectively became known as one of the country's most knowledgeable experts on yokai folklore and resurrecting it for modern times. You skipped the page. No, what had happened was it stuck on 6 and didn't show me number 7. So I had to go back and fix it so it could show number 7. But thank you, Chris. So anyway, if you're an American manga otaku, this is a must-read series. I would also recommend the series highly for aspiring artists to really study all the different types of line technique that Mizuki uses to create depth perception, realism, and atmosphere. These are things that modern comics are severely lacking in today. And if you really want to grow as artists and become the next or better than today's so-called top talents, I feel like you're going to have to go back to the times when craftsmanship at this level was being presented and figure out how to identify, emulate, and incorporate that kind of skill and technique into your own craft. And then just to show you how popular characters are in Japan, this was a cosplay parade during a holiday festival, not related to like a comic convention or anything, but they just had the characters over in Japan just wandering around during the regular parades, which I thought was cool. I do get the book 5 stars out of 5. Let's take a look at some of the artwork. You probably can't tell. I'm going to try and bring it in close. If you can see the line work there, that is not a digital over screen. That is actual hand inked line art, creating all the different levels of shading in the cornfield around him that he's hiding in. And then we got interesting, this looks like it could be a type of screen tone back here. It's not. It's all pointillism effect on the background there. He has a good ability here to not only just do the cartoony effect of Kitaro here. For those who don't know, he only has the one eye. The rest of it's demonic face. That's why it's covered up by hair. The depth perception of the mini M's or mini monsters against him, filling in the black against his black striped suit, vest. It all just blends, but yet it still has enough lightness in the figure to make it stand out and create the depth perception. Today, almost all this stuff would be inked at predominantly one level and left for someone like Chris to try and create the depth perception in. That's insane. Yeah, that's the kind of level of crazy detail in there. Here's another one from the page. Lovely ghost effect for the cloud effects in there. Wonderful pointillism on the rocks, and you get really strong line details for the blades of grass on the ground. Then you get back into this kind of photorealism look for the cave behind him. And I'm going to see if I can get, here we go. This is part pointillism and part duotone shade in the 60s. And he's doing it over, and he drew this over a photo light boxed. But you can see the different levels of both cross hatching and pointillism and the duotone in the depths of the artwork. And then, whoop, there we go. And then you go with a more traditional, you got the black demon, you got the squid with the wonderful tentacles, and then yet you still got the sky with the dark cloud effects that, you know. And if you look at a lot of Arthur Adams's stuff, where he does a lot of the cross hatching from for backgrounds to create cloud effects and stuff from different angles, this is where he picked it up from. This is one of the guys that Adams picked up that kind of stuff from. And then look at the way the brushwork is done through the water. Just absolutely gorgeous stuff. And it's not just that kind of work. I mean, that's some of the stuff I really like about it. But let me see if I can, like, just pull out some random pages here so you can see the difference when I'm talking about, where he juxtaposes the cartoony figures against that really exquisite, tight backgrounds. You can't really tell necessarily, but you see how he does all those hatch lines to create depths in the sky, to create effects of different and this is a guy who did it pretty much. I know he had some assistants, because almost all the people do in the manga, but it's not like today where a lot of the modern stuff, it's like one guy does figures, one guy does backgrounds, one guy does the duo shade, one guy does all the black fills, you know, until they get it all figured out as one composite. This is pretty much all one person doing it. Let me see if I can find the some of the other cool. Again, you see this kind of cartoony thing. He's his dad's little eyeballs controlling his vest. You can see he's only got the one eye. That wonderful effect, circle effect. Just a lot of really gorgeous stuff. I'm still looking for the one page that I wanted to show. I should have put a bookmark. Oh well, if I don't find it, I don't find it. But this isn't the right page, but it's you can see he does the kind of silly monsters as well, and yet still has the wonderful detail for the tower and the buildings. Just wonderful stuff. Yeah, incredibly talented guy. Masterful person. You need to get this book. So again, 5 stars for Kitaro or Kitaro from Shigeru Mizuki. And make sure you check him out online. Okay, that covers us for today. Next week, we're back with the Ghost in the Shell brand. Last week we did volumes 1 and 2. Next week we're going to do volumes 3 and 4, the Human Algorithm miniseries. I have those right here, as you can see, my little hands. So we got that going on. Tomorrow, our guest creator for crowdfunding night will be David Campiti, and we'll be discussing multiple crowdfunding campaigns he has going on right now, as well as books he's edited or overseen as head of Glasshouse Graphics for various publishers, including a book I reviewed recently, the Imagination book. This is a book that he oversaw and helped get made. And then there's another book that Chris's wife discovered at her job at the Goodwill store, wherever she works, and they bring comics, and they happen to find one that Dave also worked on. So we'll be talking about those as well. And that'll be tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. Thursday, we will have our regular review night. We'll be discussing James Schumer's Dragon Garage, Oni's Epitaph from the Abyss, the third issue of Green Lantern Dark, the new series Jump Scare from Dark Horse by Cullen Bunn, the Hard Switch graphic novel, Digital Disciple. That's the book that Dave also worked on that we'll be talking about tomorrow as well. And Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, among some other things that we'll be discussing and reviewing. And then Friday, well, we got our movie night. And we put a poll up on my Facebook group. So we're going to stop the screen here and present that screen here. If I can, there we go. And as you can see, it is a tie. Now, the thing is, we were supposed to wait until 10 o'clock. I'm going to say it's a tie. I'm not, unless someone shows up between now and 10 and votes for something on that. I'm just going to go ahead and pick a randomizer. And I'm going to show you what the randomizer is. We've got a three-way tie between Dr. Sin, the Scarecrow of Romney Marsh from 1963, The Golden Village of Sinbad from 1973, and Dr. Terror's House of Horrors from 1965. So let's see what happens with our wheel. As you can see, it's all set up. Dr. Sin, Dr. Terror, or Sinbad. Let's see who wins. Dr. Terror. So that is what we will be reviewing on Friday, is Dr. Terror and the House of Horrors. Or Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, I should say. And that'll be, and Chris is going, yay, because that's what he voted for. So I'm glad you're happy, Chris. But that's what we're reviewing on Friday. So lots of stuff to see this weekend. We hope you come back and watch us again. In the meantime, if you want to reach out to me on social media, whoops, it's not sharing the right screen. Let me get it right for you. There we go. You can reach out to me on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven, or go to the Facebook group, Lewis Bright Raven, Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. You can go to the Muskrat channel and find me at Lewis Bright Raven 2. I'm on DeviantArt at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You can like, share, subscribe at YouTube, Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. If you have questions, comments, if you'd like to recommend a book for I or the other co-host, Chris, and our other co-host, John Norris, to review, Quoth Raven LBR72 at gmail.com is the place to reach me. If I don't get back to you, try Lewis Bright Raven at yahoo.com. We'll see you next time. As always, we appreciate you watching. Quoth the Raven, nevermore.